I almost think that a lot of people look forward to Microsoft having bad news, right? That's just a thing. I honestly think that is 100% the case. Case closed, right? Like they sit there and go, yeah, and they cheer on bad news if it's Microsoft or Xbox, right? So as a lot of you probably know, there were a lot of layoffs at Microsoft. In fact, 10,000 employees, and that is a lot, and that's unfortunate, and we wish them all well and hope that they find jobs elsewhere. But I always thought it was silly to kind of get into that as a console warring type of mentality because it's such an unfortunate state, and there's also a lot of negativity and uncertainty, right? So we don't know, first of all, how many people in the gaming sector. It's bad regardless, but we don't know how many in the gaming sector were affected. We also don't know what the extent is going to be long term, but it is worth talking about because a lot of people out there are talking about, like myself included, we wanted there to be sort of these changes at places like 343. We know that 343 is probably the heaviest affected. Apparently, a lot of the campaign people got let go. But I want to get into this because I find it very interesting indeed, and it's something that I wanted to talk about. What's up, everybody? Crep Gamer here with Crep Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please leave a like on the video as I'm looking to get 100 likes on all the videos that I do, and that would be absolutely tremendous. If you could work that out for me, I would be eternally grateful. So yes, thank you guys very, very much. With that being said, this is very interesting because Microsoft just had their biggest round of layoffs in their history, which is pretty interesting. 343 and Bethesda employees also have been signaling that they've been laid off. Some people on this past week, Microsoft confirmed plans to lay off approximately 4.5% of the U.S. Technics Giants 220 plus thousand person workforce, which is around 10,000 people. The cuts arrive 1 year to the day after Microsoft announced its intention to purchase an Activision Blizzard for around $69 billion, and according to Bloomberg, Bethesda Game Studios as well as 343 Industries, the company behind Halo Infinite, were affected. In addition, Microsoft's HoloLens business and some engineering divisions are also reportedly part of the cuts. Another report claims that 343 had suffered a significant number of layoffs across the company, which are allegedly heaviest towards individuals working on the single-player side of the studio. A journalist, Jason Schreier, corroborated this claim, stating that several employees had indicated it had been hit hard. Now, there also claims to have been confirmed the number of developers at the Coalition, which does Gears of War, that they are being laid off. Some former employees have already posted on social media to confirm they've been let go. Gaming is impacted by the layoffs, which likely includes people on his team. Gary Walczyk, principal engineer for Xbox Growth and Loyalty, tweeted on Wednesday before removing the message. The PR manager at Bethesda wrote, "It happened. I was laid off from Bethesda, so I'm back on the market." Kevin Schmidt, senior designer of Halo, also confirmed he's been laid off, along with another person who was a community manager for Elder Scrolls Online. On Wednesday, Microsoft claimed the cuts were being made in response to economic conditions and changing customer priorities. According to Business Insider's report published on Wednesday, the company was deliberately targeting who it believed to be underperforming employees in at least some parts of the companies, and the publication claims that some managers were asked to identify employees for exits who would otherwise be put on performance coaching. Previous managers stated a consultation on an employee's performance for as long as 6 months. It said now if HR agrees the employee has concerning performance, they'll consider laying off the employee without performance coaching, its claimed. So it looks like they're kind of leveling up. And, listen, this is the thing. So I'm not kind of making excuses for this. This is super unfortunate, no doubt about it. Microsoft employees as a whole, total company, 2021, pre-COVID was 144,000 employees. During COVID, they ramped up to 221,000 employees. That's a huge number. And a lot of industry people also jumped up to that amount of, jumped up to a larger amount of people through the COVID situation. We all know that, when it comes to entertainment and things like that, video games were flourishing. People were inside their houses. It was a weird situation. But at the same time, us as fans can sit back and go, okay, well, I understand that, and now they're kind of doing this. I'm not sure what people expect. If I think this is happening. I think also Riot Games today announced it. We could be seeing something from Ubisoft in the future as well. It's really unfortunate. I think that, obviously we had a lot of people working remotely, and I'm not sure that always works out very well, right? There's a lot of distractions in the home and things like that, and if you're a low-performing employee, I think, it really kind of depends, and so, like I said, this is very unfortunate. There's a lot of restructuring going on as well. Joseph Staten, who joined 343 in 2020 to quote-unquote steer Halo Infinite towards the finish line, is also leaving the studio to rejoin Xbox Publishing as well. And a lot of people are wondering what this means for, Microsoft, or, oh, it's a bad look. Everything's a bad look when you're Microsoft, right? No matter what they do, okay? It's unfortunate that this happened. It's unfortunate that, all of these things are happening, and that, people are kind of saying, hey, like, commenting now that, like, the Halo situation was bad, incompetent leadership. I was one of those first ones saying that, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, the leadership at 343 is pretty bad. The way that they do things, hopefully this change and shakeup leads to better way to run things in the future for them. But former Halo developers are criticizing Microsoft for this. They've got to get things in order. Incompetent leadership is blamed for Halo Infinite. The problem, the main thing for me is with Halo Infinite, it was a solid game at launch, but you can't launch the game with features that were promised missing, right? And you also have to have content ready for people to play. That's like the huge issue that a lot of people are having with Halo Infinite, is people don't want to wait 6 months for one season. It's really unfortunate that's happening, and I do hope that they can kind of right the ship or whatever. A lot of people are worried, hey, games might get canceled, things like that. The thing is, if you look at Microsoft, just like a lot of these other companies, record profits, record revenue. So why are they laying these people off, man? Well, it's a combination of things. You have the COVID situation where they overhired. You needed more help because so many people were working remotely. So that's over. So they're going to lay some of those people. Also, the board members. You have to make the board members money, and that's something that makes them money. It's unfortunate, and the dark, ugly side of business, and it stinks, and Microsoft looks bad, and they probably deserve to look bad for that. But it's also, people shouldn't be beating the drum for this stuff as a reason to, do console wars. I think that's silly. I think Microsoft, they're doing what a lot of companies do, whether that's right or wrong. I think, obviously that's up for interpretation. I'm not going to get into that personally, but our game's going to get canceled. People are like, oh, well, our game's going to get canceled and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think any games are going to get canceled from this. It seems like most of the layoffs were single player people from Halo, and you had a handful of people here and there. In terms of the gaming side of things, it sounds like it could be under 100 people total from these places. So yeah, I think that it kind of depends on what's going on overall, but a lot of people talking about this. Let me know what you guys think, though. I will link all this in the description. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.